welcome back to Rachel and Bella Crafts. It's Rachel here. I hope you're all well. Thanks for joining me. It's been a long week and I know I've been absent. I hope you enjoyed your time with Bella while she's working on the woodland journal, which is very exciting. She's taught me a few things this week. I particularly liked the technique that she used on the cover with the paint, and I hope you saw the second half of that I'd missed. My fault, I'm afraid, when editing it for her on Tuesday. The bit where she was working with the crayons to get the texture and the different colours and shading. So if you've missed that from the first video, it's on the end of the second video, part 2. So again, apologies about that. It's not quite so easy, it turns out, sending videos over the internet to each other. I'm trying to edit them, but there we are. She's doing a cracking job. There are more to come. I've got a few bits there that I've got to just clip and edit for her later, but she has had quite a lot of problems with her phone while we're recording this week, so there may be a few bits that we just, you know, chop in for you to watch along, because obviously we've all been there. Camera plays up, thing turns off, you're talking away and crafting away, and then you look up, oh. But there we go. So I'm hoping to just be a quick video today. I just wanted to drop in and say hi. I've got a few things to share with you, a few people to thank, and just to tell you really where I'm at now with my next project and what we're going to be getting together to work on. So the first thing I need to do is to thank Brenda Butler, because she was my mass make swap buddy this time. Apologies to Brenda, I've been a little late sending my parcel. It's gone today. I am sorry. I think I've had about collectively 6 hours sleep in the last 4 days, so today was the first day I felt like I was human again, because of course we've had the puppies. So yes, I'm hoping at some point, you may have already seen them, I shall edit a few pictures in so you can have a little look and see our new guys. So yes, let me share with you these lovely makes that Brenda has sent to me. So we did a challenge in the Facebook group, Junk Journal Trading Post, and this fortnight's swap was to do a combination of all the mass makes that they'd been working on last month. So they could just pick one item out of each of their mass makes and then swap them with another partner. So Brenda has made here, it's an altered paperclip, and I love these large altered paper clips because these are great. They clip onto the page much easier than the smaller ones. But it's a floating pocket, look. So how cool is that? And she's got some lovely bits of lace on there. So that was the first thing. Then I've got this lovely pocket with, I'll try and keep all that covered up on there. Because she's done with her flower there, look. I'm going to have to ask her how she's layered those on there, because it almost looks like they're cut in, but they are gorgeous. And then she's got a lovely cluster on the front of that as well. And she's used some of that, and I can't remember the name of it now, but it's the coloured glues. The dots, oh, they're lovely. You know, where you do it with the, perhaps I haven't had enough sleep yet really to be doing this. You know what I'm trying to say. You'll be shouting at the screen now saying, it's that, it's that. Look at that lovely cluster she's made. What's that little cupid on there, is it? Yeah, I couldn't see that the other day. And then last but not least, a tassel. And that is super cute. Or dangle. Dangles and tassels we did the one week. And she's very kindly included in my little parcel all these beautiful buttons, and these are fabulous because I am going to use these buttons and I'm going to cover them in some serviettes this week, napkins, for my new journal. And the nice thing about that is I can put whatever I want onto those, and I haven't tried that yet, so I'm going to give that a go. And this one here I love, look at that. So I'm hoping to find a way to incorporate that into my vintage journal. So thank you for those, Brenda. That was really kind of you. You should have yours in the morning. I hope you do anyway. Our posture is not fantastic at the moment. The next people I need to thank, I received this beautiful, beautiful lace yesterday. I know it's come from my Amazon wish list. I'm not sure if it's from the Amazon wish list in our Facebook group, or if it has come from the Wednesday wishes in the Redeemable Junk Journals group, but there was no name in there. I'm so sorry. They didn't tell me who sent it. So whoever you are, just let me know. But thank you very, very much, because it is absolutely beautiful. But I feel awful because I don't know who to say thank you to. So if it was you, they've come, and thank you very, very much. I'm very grateful because they are beautiful. I look forward to working with those. I also had a few more things from the Amazon wish list. We started well, we're trying a bit of a new thing on our Facebook group at the moment. We have a couple of difficulties with the rack system on there. Rack, R-A-K, meaning random act of kindness. Most of you who are in Junk Journal Facebook groups will have seen that word written somewhere or other. It's where people share addresses then in a file in the Facebook group, and then if you've made, I don't know, 10 clusters and you only need 2 and you think, I know, I'll send them to somebody else who might need them, you'd go to the rack list and you would see if there's anybody there who, you know, you wanted to send some to, and you would pop in the post, which is great, and it's a fabulous system. But some of our friends in Europe are having difficulties with it because data protection laws there and GDPR, they're not supposed to share their address openly online. So they don't get to take part. So we've been trying to think with the admin group, you know, how can we find a way around this? You know, we want everybody to be able to have a go at things, and you know, everybody to feel that they're at least having the opportunities. So we thought, well, I tell you what, let's try the Amazon wish list. So basically what we've done, we've encouraged everybody to, if they want to join in, they can. You join in the list and you add your Amazon wish list to the thread, and in order to do that, you just have to go on and send somebody who's above you something as a you know, as a sign of goodwill. Just otherwise we'd all be dumping out things on there and we'd be like, yeah, buy me stuff, but no. So yeah, it's just a sign of goodwill. Send something to somebody up the chain above you, a random act of kindness as such, and then you can add your wish list then to that thread. And then if people are looking for people then to send something to, because it very often happens, it's a very kind community, then they can go and have a look at their wish list, and then nobody sees your address, and it's all done through Amazon, which is great. And the brilliant thing about it is you can be in America and your friend on your rack list be in India, and they'll get it within days, because Leilani from our Facebook group is in America, and she sent me this, and I had it within, I think, 36 hours. It was phenomenal. So thank you for that, Leilani, because this is lovely. Now, I have been asked by the girls to open this because they want to see what's inside. So I wouldn't normally do this, but as I'm here and as you're here, I thought, hey, let's do it. So this was on my wish list because I've been running really low on thread, and Leilani very kindly sent me this because she's such a sweetie. And look at all the colours in here. So for you guys who've seen this on Amazon and wanted to know what was in it, this is what's inside. This is not a plug for Amazon, by the way. This is just a, hey, it was on my wish list, you may want to buy it too. So that's the make. Fepito, I think that says. Leather wax thread. And then we've got all of these. Oh, this is phenomenal. Look at all these colours. These are great. So there's eight threads in there. My goodness. There's only 6 on the box. Ooh, I wonder if somebody kind packaged that and thought, oh, chuck a couple of extras in. I'm not quite sure what that's for. I'll have to work that out. But oh, there's a load of needles. Oh, there's a curved needle in here. Look at that. I won't be making any mattresses, but I'm fairly certain that will come in handy. And then we've got sack needle, straight upholstery needle, sail needle, carpet needle, glover's needle. Gosh, that's brilliant. So we've got a real assortment there of needles. Oh, and there's 2 extras in the back. Oh, that's strange. I wonder why they're in there as well. There's all extra stuff in this. Gosh, I'm not going to complain. And then I'm guessing in here then is probably the all. Let's have a quick look. Opening my packaging carefully. Oh, look, I've ripped it. Never mind. I'll try and fix that after. Okay. So here we've got... Is that all there? And then this one here, I've just noticed, actually, you can thread. So that could be rather handy. I suppose if you were pushing it through and wanted to pull the thread back through. Oh my goodness, that's really handy. Right, there we go. I shall have to remember now that I've got that in there, won't I? So there we are. So you've got 2 awls, one which you can use to pull your thread through a hole. Very useful. Oh, I tell you actually what that would be really useful for. You know when we're making tags and we put these in the top, and then you've got to try and get thread or ribbon or something through there. Well, you could simply put that in there then, even if you put a bit of thread around it and tied that to a bit of ribbon or something to just to make it easier to thread it through. I don't know about you, but I don't have long nails. I fumble about with things like that. Excellent. Hack, we love that. We love life hacks in this house. In fact, my youngest wants me to start a new YouTube channel now, all about life hacks. And I'm like, yeah, great, son. If you can think of a few, just share them with me, please. I'm not sure what that's for, though. I suppose it's a groovy ring, I guess. No, if anybody knows what that's for. Oh, I wonder if it's for pushing the needle in, maybe. Yes. Am I right? Somebody tell me. I think that's probably for pushing on my needle, because how often do you end up with a sore thumb when you're trying to shove that needle through card? And oh, that's a good idea, isn't it? Look at that. And then a measuring tape. Oh, I'm going to definitely hide that, because whenever I have one of those in the house, they all disappear. That's fantastic. That's definitely worthwhile checking that out. Really good set. If you can't find it, go and look on my Amazon wish list, because it will be on there, or it should be on there. But it'll probably be in the bought section now. So thank you very much, Leilani. That's fantastic. I will decant that after into a tidy box. Next person that I need to thank is Virginie. She's also one of the admin ladies in our Facebook group. She sent me this most beautiful book and this has come from France. And again, this came in within a day. So Virginie's in France and I'm in the UK, in Wales. And my gosh, I've had mail missing for weeks and weeks that we've been sending back and forth for different people. But good old Amazon, they're in a day. Look at these lovely images in here. Gosh, aren't they stunning? Wow. So there you go. For those of you that have seen this on the Amazon shop. Oh, look, a little journal. My gosh, it's basically a whole journal in here. You've got tab tops in there as well, look. It's a washi envelope. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, that's lovely. Very nice. Oh, I like that. She's pretty, isn't she? And the little sheep. Oh, and these. Gosh, that's marvellous. You've got a whole set in there. Right, there we go then. Right, so that's what's in there. Shabby Chic Vintage Victoria Ephemera Collection. That's just wonderful. I can't wait to get into that. Thanks for that, Virginie. Really appreciate that, lovely. And then the final one that I had then was from Mandy, who is also in our Facebook group. And I didn't have a little slip of that, but I knew she'd bought it for me because thankfully she posted the picture up in the group where they show what they've sent. But I thought you guys might like to take a look at these because these are fantastic. This is the Tim Holtz fabric tape. And if I just try and open a little bit up to show you, it's like, oh no, it's not. Oh yes, it is. It feels like the kind of tape you use when you want to tie up a bandage. Does that make sense? But it's sticky on the back. You know, you peel that off, double-sided thingy on there. Look at that with all those tickets in there. Isn't that cute? That's really good actually, because I've got to be honest, little ephemera like this does tend to irritate me a bit. I just lose it. I try not to cut it out if I can help. I don't fussy cut my small ephemera. I just leave it on the sheet until I need it. But that's ideal if you want to layer up with tickets and things and you are not very dainty at cutting, as I'm not. And that there then is all different bits of ledger. Look at that, isn't that lovely? Wow, that's lush. Thanks for that, Amanda. I really appreciate that. She's so kind. She's sent me some lovely things lately, and that was just lovely. Really kind of her. Thank you, lovely. One other thing I need to share with you. Oh, my fabric. Oh, some fabric come this week. There was a sale on Instagram last week with Rural Retro, and I've bought some wallpaper from her in the past, but she was doing little bundles of fabric scraps, and I saw this and I thought, oh, I can't leave that there because I got a plan for a journal for myself that I want to make, and that is exactly the kind of fabric I wanted to use. So here we are. That's my little bundle there. There was a little bit of embroidery in there, which I probably didn't need because we've got loads of that. But this I haven't come across. It's almost Cath Kidston-y, and I love Cath Kidston, but it's lush. So yes, a lovely little bundle there from Rural Retro. She's got some nice things on her Instagram. So that was that done. I don't think there was anything else that I had to tell you. No. Okay, so on with my book. Last time I spoke to you all, I showed you our new kit, Shades of the Past. And I have started getting my pages ready. This was kind of what I was doing Monday while we were waiting for our little doggy to have her puppies. So I didn't want to get into anything too big. So what I've done basically is I've got my pages ready. I've put some other vintagey images on the back. So this one here is out of that beautiful lace kit that Mum's used. I've put some vintage documents on the back of some of them. So we have the wallpaper there, and then you'll have the large documents on the back there. I had a bit of a print error with that one, but as I've printed these on this really nice presentation card, I thought, well, doesn't matter, I will cover that with lace, it's not an issue, or we'll stitch over it. And then there's another one there, but aren't these lovely, these lace images? So yes, that's the pages ready. I'm going to get all those cut down later and put my coffee papers together, and I need to start compiling my book pages. But what I've also done is I've taken some of the ephemera, I cut all that out, and I've started embossing ready. So I've embossed quite a few things. These are one of those checks that I misprinted the other day, so I've embossed the back because that's lovely on that white there. And I've embossed some more checks ready. They're done. I did tear that one because I used a little bit of it, but that's fine, we can use more of that later. I've got that right there ready for a pocket. I've got a doily ready that's been dyed in, I want to say beetroot, I think that was, because that's tinged around the edges there, so I'm going to keep that in. These are the documents, the kit that I printed on that grey, really thin grey paper, which feel great. And I've got them there on the white paper. But I was watching a fascinating video the other day by Tracy Fox, and she was talking all about, you know, aging documents and aging ephemera for, you know, doing vintage journals, and how to make your ephemera look old. So I sat and had a little go at that one night in the week, and I think they've come out quite well actually. So that one there is printed on the white paper, and this one here is printed on the grey, the really thin grey stuff. I need to ask my dad what that was. I literally just had a handful of sheets. But what I've done here is I've cut it out. It's, you know, it's come out printed like this. I've cut it out. I've taken then just my pair of scissors. I've just literally, well actually I didn't. I just getting myself in the mood, and I used these really old little vintage scissors I've got here from an old sewing kit. So I literally just sat and I took my scissors and I just like that all the way down, cut a few bits, you know, made it look really just authentic. That's the word I'm looking for. And, you know, tore a few little tiny bits and took a bit off here and there, and then folded it, and then inked it, and then went around on the inside doing the same sort of thing, tore a bit at the bottom, and that was it. You know, I haven't done anything to the paper particularly. I've just been a little bit rough with it, but that's fine, because if it was from 1922, that would make it 99 years old, and it would look like it had been roughed about a bit, wouldn't it? But I was really pleased with that actually. I thought that looked quite, you know, I've got quite a few, you know, piles of vintage ephemera in there that well, actually saying that, vintage ephemera has been looked after really, really well and doesn't look like this. But if I'm making a vintage journal, I want it to look like it's been shoved in a drawer for 100 years. Do you know what I mean? That's what we want to see, don't we? We don't want stuff that looks like it's come straight out of the printer. So if you are going to do your vintage journal along with me with this series, don't be afraid to have a go. Get some of these images printed off and literally just get a pair of scissors. Gosh, you could do it with a craft knife. You know, whatever you do, do it so that you're safe. Don't end up cutting your fingers or anything. But literally, that's all I was doing. I just sat like that. I didn't have the energy to do anything more complicated. And you just literally, and you can see it's almost serrating the edge. But and then of course, once you go around it then with your dabber, your smushy brush, it just looked really good. So yeah, that was just white paper that was on. And I think, you know, like I say, a few tears here and there, I think that looks great. So again, I started doing the same with this one. You know, and again, there's a few little bits tore, but I wasn't worried. Again, I felt it made it look more authentic. I did use a different ink this time for these though. I didn't use the vintage photo. I've got a walnut one here somewhere. I'm looking around me. I can't see it. Oh, it's the other side of the desk, right? I won't grab it now. But I've got the walnut stain one, and I did find that actually a little better because it wasn't quite so dark. But yeah, it was really easy. So have a go. But another tip that I got from Tracy, and I haven't been able to test it yet because it only came yesterday, but by the time I do my next video I will have tried it and I will let you all know, is this paper here. Now, she had tried printing, she tested out printing some vintage documents on newsprint. Now, this is the make that I've bought, okay? But look, now, I don't know what it was like when you were in school, but those of you that went to school in Britain know exactly what I'm going to say now. Years ago, well, not that many years ago, I'm not that old, but when I went to school as a kid, didn't have tissue paper in the bathrooms. So I'm trying to say this delicately, but it was basically a cardboard box on the wall of the bathroom, and it was filled with sheets of this paper. And I'm certain it was like this because I remember once we were tracing in class and somebody sent one of the children to go and get a load of this stuff so we could trace with it. But it's just like that. This is perhaps a little bit softer and a little bit thinner, but yeah, very much like very old school bathroom paper. So I'm going to try and print on that tomorrow, and I'm going to see if it'll go through the printer for a start. But we'll see then how then perhaps our vintage documents come out on this. It wasn't expensive. I did shop around, and I think I plumbed for Amazon in the end because obviously I've got Prime, it's just quicker as well. But yeah, it wasn't a lot at all. So, I also did some checks as well. And again, I used the same technique following what Tracy Fox had said. Went around with my scissors, and I think that looks pretty cool actually. I think that looks really old, and you know, you fold it a bit, and because I mean, you know, if you've been to the bank and you shoved it in your wallet, you know, it's an old check, and it would have looked like that. But I just think that'll be really interesting then, pulling that out of the journal, and then again with a larger size one as well. So I think that looks brilliant. So yeah, that was those. What else did I have to show you? Oh, I know. One of the other things that I've got that, well, basically this has kind of been a bit of the inspiration really for the theme of this journal, is this book. It's a book that I bought in a secondhand book sale shelf at our local Welsh History Museum. It's a place in South Wales called St Fagans, and it's basically it's a huge expanse of land, and they have taken lots of old historic buildings from around Wales. They have taken them down brick by brick and stone by stone, and they've taken them to a place called St Fagans, and they've been rebuilt there. And it's a place you can go in the buildings, and you can see all of the history, and it takes you right the way back, many hundreds of years of the history of Wales, which is fascinating. We all love going there. But when I went recently, they had a little shelf there of books that people didn't want anymore, and you could make a donation and you know, take whatever books you wanted. So this one caught my eye, and it caught my eye because inside are these beautiful photographs. I don't know if you can see these here, and I thought, oh my gosh, these would just be wonderful in a journal. So I brought the book home. Now the book is all in Welsh. Now I'm not a Welsh speaker, sadly, but my son's girlfriend is. She's fluent in Welsh. She is off to university in 3 weeks' time. We're very excited and very proud of her. And before she went, I called her and I said, Kat, come and have a look. I need you to tell me what this book is about. I said, because I need to know if I can use these pages, because I wasn't sure, obviously, what it said. Somebody looking on the screen may read it and know exactly what it says. So I thought I'd better just double check. So bless her, she'd sit and had a read through, and basically the story of this lady's life is her life story, and it's all about her family and her Tadgi, that's her family there, or Tylee there, and Mamgi and Tadgi, that's grandparents, and yeah, it's just fascinating. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to use these pages. I'm going to age them. I'm going to coffee dye them, and they're going to be in my book. But you will see those images again, and they're being reused. And I really want to kind of like, you know, do that justice. The other thing I found in there was this, and I was like, oh my gosh, words and phrases. Yes. So in here, is a whole section of words and phrases, origins, quotations, and proverbs. So when I got home, quickly took them out and had a little flick through, and I was like, oh, look at these books, aren't they beautiful? Lovely, lovely. Yeah, we can get that. No, I'm joking. But, well, I wasn't really, but I thought, oh, I'll have a little look. So what do they mean by proverbs? A barking dog never bites even. As you bake, so shall you brew. Okay, I thought, well, that's fascinating. So I was just flicking through, and as I flicked, look what I found. Inside, I don't mind whether I should be worried about being £13, but they are old pound notes, and a really old £10 note. I'm saying really old. Yeah, no, I don't think that was the £10 note. No, that was not the £10 note that was in circulation when I was born. So, yeah, that was fashion. But look at the quality and look at the condition. So my one son was like, oh, Mum, you got to flog them. And then the other one was like, don't be soft, they're only worth £13. So I just thought that was rather lovely anyway. They were in there. But yeah, so we're going to try and use some of these pages as well. All things come to those who wait. Oh, all things are possible with God. That's a good one. We'll put that one in there. So there's some interesting stuff in there anyway. This is the kind of stuff that I'm going to be using for book pages. I am going to do some tea dyeing actually tomorrow, so I don't want it too dark. And I'm hoping then that will mix in then with the wallpaper. So we'll see where we go with that. Okay, so the last thing that I was going to show you today was fabrics. I was starting to get my fabrics together, ready for my cover. I've had a little practice with a few, and I've done some clusters, just playing really with the snippets that I had there of fabric and lace. But on Monday, I took a little drive before my dog went into labour, I might add. About an hour's drive up to a lovely town called Lydney, where I had spoken to somebody the previous day who was getting rid of display folders with fabrics and curtain and blind material in. So I went to collect them and came home, and as you can imagine, Mum and I were quite excited. So I've pulled out some different samples to show you all the sorts of things that I'm going to try and be working with this journal. Now, the one thing that I did say to Mum, I felt quite strongly about with these folders. Obviously, they're used for people who sell curtains and blinds. They take them to people, they show them the samples. But the folders are lovely. They're lovely big folders. I'd like to try and make them into albums eventually. But they are full of like laminated cards, plastic, and just different materials really that I suppose we would just normally think, oh, we don't use that. But I'm going to try and adapt them in the different ways to using them in journals. So I'm going to try and put a few elements of them into this journal, because I just feel really strongly about making sure that we reuse this stuff. Kind of, I suppose, in true junk journal style really. So what I've got here in my hand, these are actually samples of blind material. So I don't know if you can see, they're called Venetian blinds here. I don't know if you have them in other countries, but I don't know if you can hear that. It's quite a coarse material. It's not like soft like fabric. It's almost like it's waterproof, but the patterns on them I thought were stunning. So I've got a couple of ideas of how we can use those. So if you do have any kind of, I won't say plastics, but other materials that you have laying around, you're not quite sure what you could do with them, but they have got an interesting pattern on them or something like that, catch hold of them and keep them to one side, because I am going to do a few I'm going to do a tutorial on how we can use those and see what I can come up with. So that's been on my mind first and foremost this week. Then obviously I'm trying to plan my cover that I want to go with this kit, which I've just moved. What have I done with you? There we go. If I keep this page up on my desk, it kind of gives me an idea then of the colours that I'm looking at. But I've got some beautiful fabric samples. Those perhaps not so much. These are more of the greens. And these are more of the kind of aqua blinds materials again, but these I thought would go really well. So I'm going to try and sit and work out. I mean, look at that lovely flock there. That one I thought was just fantastic. But I'm going to just sit and work out, because I've got a couple of vintage fabric samples, and then obviously I've got these fabric samples now. So I mean, that is beautiful. We're talking about vintage wallpaper as a theme as your papers, and then you come out with these then as your fabrics. I mean, you can't go far wrong with that, can you? So we're going to be implementing quite a bit of fabric into this journal, because I do like a bit of fabric. And as I say, it's going to be quite vintagey feel. We're going to have embossing in there. We're going to have vintage wallpapers in there. And we're going to have lace in there. Look at this. Isn't that lovely? So that's all my bits and pieces ready. If you're going to craft along with me, you've got a day now to go and get your bits and pieces together. So I've got some old lace there. I've got this lovely embroidery, I think it's a coaster. We're going to be using that for something. And then I've got this here, which is like an oblong oval shape table center. And then we got some of this lovely brown lace, and I haven't coffee dyed that. That is actually the color of it. That's come out of a tablecloth, I believe. And then we've got some embroidery anglaise out of an embroidery anglaise curtain. So that's the bits and pieces I've got. And we'll see what we come up with. But thanks for joining me today. Like I say, it was just a quick short one. I hope it didn't keep you too long, just so you know what I've been up to. And we'll have another video on the weekend now of Emma's Woodland Journal, and then I will be back then to make a start on my cover. So I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. Take care, keep safe, and we'll see you all very soon. Bye now.